Hi, I'm Danica Tormolin, VP of Content for TSNN and Exhibit News Now, and I'm joined today by Dasher Lowe, and we're going to talk about EDPA Access 2023 is coming up, and it's going to the Hyatt Regency Coconut Point at Bonita Springs, Florida, November 28th through the 30th, and registration just opened, so we were super curious about the event. I personally, in all these years, this is maybe the only industry event that I haven't been to before. And so I'm so excited to find out more about it from Dasher. So welcome, Dasher.
Thank you, Danica.
So first, I want you to give our audience a little bit of background about the association and its members.
Yeah, EDPA, we're the Experiential Designers and Producers Association. We're about 300 member companies across the US and around the globe, but primarily in the North America. And our niche in the industry is we're the designers and producers and then the suppliers to those designers and producers. So the large and small design and production companies on the exhibit side.
So name some of the big names that stand out in terms of maybe even on your board and some of the members of
Yeah,
that.
well, our president, Dan Sarabin, he's the CFO of Dursey. They're obviously a large company. Others on our board, on our executive committee, Amy Sondrups, our president emeritus. She represents Access TCA. And then there's smaller companies represented. Chris Griffin, our incoming president, he runs a company, Crew XP, that is a supplier to the industry. Others, Michael McMahon, Hill and Partners out of Massachusetts. Yeah, quite a diverse group of member companies, both, like I said, on the design and build side, but also the supply side. So some of the larger suppliers like Court and Matrix, AliaVision, you name it, the larger suppliers are all the way down to some of the smaller suppliers just getting started in the industry as well.
Great. That gives us a good flavor of who your members are. There's so many acronyms, right?
Yeah,
In the
exactly.
industry. So that's a little bit about yours. I want you to also tell us a little bit about, I know you have a lot of smaller events throughout the year, but Access is really your big annual event, right?
Yeah, this is our big 3-day annual meeting. Typically, we have about 300 attendees representing probably close to 200 different companies. We get together for 3 days of networking, education. We're sharing a lot of industry data that not only EDPA's industry data, but some of the trade publications, other sister associations coming together and sharing what's going on in our event world for the year and then what to expect in the coming year.
Wonderful. That's a good time to wrap up the year 2023 and look ahead. What do you feel like the vibe is at the event?
I'd say it's intimate is how I describe it. When I first came into the industry and I attended our event for the very first time, and then I went to some other of the industry events, what really hit me about our event is it's intimate. Like I said, there's only 300 folks that come, and it's really the C-suite of our member companies getting together, putting down their competitive swords and really sharing information. What's going on? What happened in the year for them? What are they doing in the coming year? Talking through a lot of things, investments, staffing, challenges that they're having, opportunities that they're seeing. And it's just a great collaborative opportunity for our members to get together.
That's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about, since you alluded to the program and some of the things that we might be talking about or that might be on the program, who are some of the speakers and what are some of the highlights?
Our traditional format is we start off first day with fun. We have our annual golf scramble, and that's usually post juxta against some other opportunities to just discover the area. So I think this year looks like we're gonna do golf and a little bit of a fishing excursion as well. So there's a couple different options there. And then we're at the beautiful Hyatt Bonita Springs Coconut Point for those that just want to hang out and relax a little bit. That's usually day one, the morning of day one. And then we kick things off that afternoon with our president's address and opening keynote. This year's opening keynote is Paul Tuttle Jr. from American Chopper. Folks remember the son from American Chopper, the father and son. Paul, he's a great keynote. He does an interesting perspective of really how you take a brand and bring it to life in new mediums. Obviously, his mediums primarily is motorcycles, but he does a lot of other things with large corporate brands. And I think it's very relatable to our industry of how we take a brand and bring it to life in a 20 by 20 exhibit space. I think it's going to be exciting. Paul's going to hang out and actually golf with us that day, and it'll be a chance for folks not only after his keynote, he's going to hang out for the opening reception and just get to meet everybody. I think it's a great opportunity just to talk one-on-one with someone like him of how he integrates brands into new mediums.
That's wonderful. That's definitely something you can't get virtually, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's day one. Day
Okay.
two, then we is a full day of content. Our opening keynote on day two is Jana Mendez. She's an ex-CIA agent, and she does a really cool presentation on CIA spy tactics and how they apply to the business world. So it's really interesting. She was a spy with the CIA, I think, head of disguise back during the Cold War with Russia and that sort of thing. She spent time in the Kremlin undercover, and so she's got some really cool stories. And on the top of that, she does a great job of integrating those stories and how to apply them into the business world. And that kicks off day two. Also, then we have another keynote, Dr. Tracy Weiland. She's really an expert on technology and how technology is affecting the business world and how to embrace it and take advantage of it. So she's going to follow up that. Then we've got Jane Gentry. She's been in the industry for a while. She's going to be sharing some new information with us. And then another keynote that day, we're loaded with days.
Yeah.
Han Leinholtz, from many of those who were over in Euroshop, remember him. He hosted the Euroshop stage there. He's going to be doing a presentation specifically on AI in the event industry and how it's really coming on fast within our industry and what to expect with AI. So there's some really interesting topics. And we've got our old standbys, things like our design issue forums, our business issue forum. And then most importantly, that night, we've got our silent auction and gala that happens at night. And at our gala, that's when Dan Sarabin will hand over the gala to our incoming president, Chris Griffin. We do some fundraising there, and it's just an exciting time. Oh, and EDPA awards will be awarded at that time as well. So it's a really fun evening. We dress up to the nines and break out our black ties and that for the gala. And then finally, day three, it's another full day of content. We've got a keynote speaker in the morning, Jeremy Bess. He's an economist. He well-respected economist group that many of our member companies actually use their company data, but he's going to be sharing what's happening with the economy, what to expect in 2024 as we prepare. We've got some industry data that's going to be shared out with our economic and compensation surveys. We have an event marketer going to be sharing some industry data as well. So it's going to be a full day of content. And then we wrap things up on our third day with our chapter challenge, and it's all of our chapters getting together and just doing some fun games outside, and that just to further networking. So it's a great time. There's stuff going on every night, late into the night, a lot of safety meetings, as many of our people like to say, around the fire pit and that sort of thing. But it's a great networking event for those who have never come. It's really a great opportunity to get to know folks in our side of the industry, rub shoulders with them, and have those conversations. And that's really what Access is all about. It's the conversations. There's obviously great content we're delivering, but the most important thing, I think, for all of our members is just those conversations that they're having with the fellow members throughout the event.
Wonderful. Wow, it's packed. You've got a packed schedule, 3 full days, it sounds like, with lots of fun in there, networking opportunities, and some great speakers and some topics that are relevant to where we're at right now in the industry in 2023. Tell us a little bit about, describe, I know you said it's, and we talked about it's at the Hyatt in Bonita Springs. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've been to a site visit. So tell us a little bit about the property itself, and then maybe, the area right around there.
Yeah, it's Bonita Springs is just north of Naples, a 12-mile drive from Fort Myers Airport, RSW there. So it's really close. It's a beautiful area. There's a golf course on premise where we're going to have the scramble, and it's a beautiful property. Like our associations, it's intimate. I think they've got about 400, maybe 450 rooms. We'll take over probably 300 or more of those rooms. So it's basically going to be our hotel for those 3 days. But they've got 3 pools there. It's a beautiful setting. They're right along the backwater area. They were a direct hit for the hurricane, but I was down there last February, and they're already opened back up, and 90% of their landscaping had been replaced and all that. But they're 100% up and going now. And it's probably a renovation they did need, but they went through a major renovation because of the hurricane, and it's beautiful now.
Wonderful. Wow. That sounds, I know that area was hit hard, right? So it's probably good to bring business to that area as well. Okay. So you have golf. How many people usually participate in your golf tournament?
Last year we had, I think, 95 golfers. So it was a big event, and we're expecting probably about the same this year. And like I said, with Paul Tuttle Jr. being out on the golf course as well and playing with some folks, I think maybe we'll pick up even a few more.
Great. And then thank you for answered this. I was going to ask you what a first timer needs to know about the event, and networking is one of them.
I neglected to say it before the opening reception, we do a first timers welcome. And so we let everybody know what to expect the day of, not to be afraid to approach anybody. We've got tags on everybody's name tags. We've got first timers identified. We let our board members know that if they see somebody, introduce themselves to the first timers. But the same goes for the first timers. They see somebody with a board tag, don't be afraid to go up and talk to them and ask for some introductions. Normally we have probably 20 first timers. And usually out of those first timers, we see the majority of them back the second year. Most of our members will say this is the not miss event of the year, and they make sure that they make their plans always around it. I think there's a lot of great opportunities for first timers just to meet some folks in the industry, and everybody's very receptive and open to it.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. I do have one more quick question for you because I'm just curious since we have you on here. As you're looking and putting together the programming and thinking about all the trends, what's the overall feel for your membership and some of the things that are top of mind right now?
Yeah, I think obviously the industry is going strong. Everybody's really pleased with it. Our focus, two of our big initiatives for the past couple of years, obviously advocacy over the pandemic and that sort of thing, but this switched to focused advocacy, still continued effort, but keys are one, future leaders and future workforce. So future leaders is something that we started, I think, about 4 years ago. And we're excited that we actually have a future leaders track within Access this year. So there's going to be 4 sessions dedicated specifically to the future leaders, because we have a number of future leaders that come in as part of our awards ceremony. They come in and receive their awards, but attend the event as well. But the exciting thing for us is what we're seeing is classes back 4 years ago, those future leaders that came to accept their award, they're continuing to come and they're making impacts within their company. So that's exciting, the future leaders. And then future workforce is something that was really a new initiative this year. We've charged straight ahead with that. We would have spent time at ASCA, which is the Association for School Counselors. We had a 20 by 20 booth there, made a ton of connections. We're just basically spreading the word on the industry as far as the opportunities for employment within the industry. Most of the folks that we're talking to, in fact, our booth's headline was the largest industry you've never heard of. A lot of these folks don't realize the plethora of jobs that are within our industry, and it's an education thing. So we've already made a ton of contacts with school districts around the country. We're having our chapters engage with those school districts and meeting with them at their job fairs, and a lot of opportunity, and it's going to continue to expand from there. We're looking at being part of the Skills USA event next year. We're going to be sharing an update on our workforce initiatives at our Access event, and we're looking forward to getting more of our member companies involved.
That is a critical issue across the industry in terms of making people aware of the industry and the jobs and getting them excited about wanting to be in the industry. There's so many I know that don't require a college degree, and that there's so many opportunities to make a career out of this.
Yeah, especially our segment. We
Yeah.
represent a lot of the skilled labor along with the EACA, but a lot of our member companies are skilled labor companies all the way up through the design and build houses. They've got skilled labor that is assembling things within their group. So skilled labor is critical all the way up through college educations. And of course, EDPA continues our efforts with FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, as well as Bemidji State. And we're looking to obviously expand those programs to additional universities as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We look forward to your annual event Access later on November 28th through the 30th. So thanks, Dasher.
Thanks, Danica. We look forward to seeing you there.